This is Professor Michael Chapman. I'm one of the most experienced IVF doctors in Australia. I believe that an important part that I can contribute is to educate patients in relation to fertility, infertility, and all that involves. These series of podcasts help to educate you. I hope they are helpful to you. If you wish to know more, however, I'm more than happy to have you contact me via email, which is profmchapman@gmail.com, or make an appointment to see me on 9138 4222.
We have two questions from one of our viewers, Jen. One of them is a cheeky one. She says, what if the first cycle fails? Do we get any discounts on additional cycles? And then she says, are there any unexpected costs we should know about?
Yeah, I think when you go into IVF, you've got to be eyes wide open. Sadly, the industry today is commercial. Getting someone across the line in terms of coming to one clinic or another, there's hundreds of thousands, probably millions of dollars being spent on marketing clinics around Australia. And it's sad to me that the upfront costs that are on web pages aren't necessarily representative of the real costs. So most clinics, going back to directly to a question, most clinics do not offer a discount on subsequent cycles because the same processes have to be gone through. There's the monitoring of the cycle, the blood tests that go with it, the nurse's time in talking to you, and the doctor's time in managing the cycle. And then in the laboratory, it's the same laboratory staff. It's not that because you had it once, we know a better recipe for you or some shortcut things. So it's rare for an IVF clinic to give you a discount on the after a failed cycle. Obviously, if you have an embryo transfer in that failed cycle and you've got embryos frozen, the follow-up cycles are significantly cheaper. But if coming back for a new cycle in most clinics, I can't speak for all of them, but my experience is that there's no discounts, sadly, for you. But there's reasons why. It's that basically it's treading the same. If you go to a restaurant and you have a meal, when you come back the next time, it doesn't mean you're going to get a discount because you came a second time. But the warning that I started off with was the websites don't necessarily tell you about all the costs. So mostly they'll talk about a base cost, which varies obviously from clinic to clinic, what we call the premium clinics, which offer the whole range of services like genetic testing of embryos, more sophisticated sperm analyses, the premium services, the sort of business class compared with perhaps Jetstar. Their prices range from their base price ranges from mid 10,000s through to, I think now up to $14,000, of which you get $5,500 back from Medicare. Behind that and on top of that, in most cases, there is also the fee for the day surgery, unless your private health cover covers it. There's also, in most cases, an anaesthetist fee, which isn't necessarily covered fully by your health fund. If you're going to have sperm injection because there's a male problem, there's an extra charge there. Most companies also charge a freezing charge if you have excess embryos beyond the one you're putting back. And then on top of that, if you're going to have genetic testing of embryos, there's also a charge there. So when you are talking to a clinic, make sure that you ask all of those questions. What are my extra charges? What about the anaesthetist? What about the day surgery? Because they all add up, particularly if you don't have private health insurance. At Life Fertility Sydney, our upfront price is just under $11,000. There's a day surgery fee of $1,350. We do our egg collections under sedation without an anaesthetist there, so you're avoiding that cost. And then beyond that, obviously, there's the PGT costs if you're going to have your embryos tested. So ask the questions so you know what you're getting into. The way the system usually works is that when your specialist puts your cycle into the system, most clinics have a financial consent, it's called, whereby that what is written in the procedure write-up, in other words, it's going to be IVF with ICSI, with PGT. The clinic will send you an itemised invoice, and before you start the cycle, you will commit yourself to paying for those things. But that's the point at which you really know how much you're up for.
And don't forget that you can access all the previous episodes by going to our website www.theivfjourney.com and select IVF Journey podcast from the navigation menu.